The series is about Usato, who, despite having only healing magic in a world that he and his two friends were summoned, turns heads with his unique and creative applications. From enhancing physical abilities to unconventional and unexpected uses, he explores the limitless possibilities of his unique and ultra-rare power. The story begins with the popular kids, Suzune, the student council president, and Kazuki, her vice president, being the center of attention of everyone. And our MC, Usato, is currently a loser. The most exciting thing that happens in his boring life is rescuing some baby pigeons. Deep down though, Usato yearns for something exciting to happen to him. Before we go on, please remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment your thoughts, and keep watching our other videos. Let's get going. It's raining cats and dogs, and our MC's luck, someone stole his umbrella. He sees another umbrella, but his inner righteous wannabe takes control, and he just sits there for the rain to be over. Well, suddenly Suzune and Kazuki appear and offer Usato an umbrella. They start walking home together. While they walk together, Usato asks if the two are dating. They reply with a no, and tell him that they only spend time together because they're on the student council. Usato is embarrassed, as he should be, and apologizes. Suzune doesn't mind it, and finds it as a compliment rather than talking behind their backs. The three then have a dull and boring convo about their future. Suddenly, the two council members hear the ringing of a bell, but Usato doesn't hear a thing. And just as Usato approaches the two, a magic circle appears on the ground. And puff! They vanish into thin air. Kazuki eventually wakes up Usato, and he finds out that they are sitting in front of a king. They are anxious as they don't know what's happening, but Suzune is exhilarated with excitement. The king introduces himself as Lloyd. Lloyd tells them that they are in constant threat of an attack by the Demon Lord, who attacked 2 years ago too. As a last resort, they summoned them to Linga Kingdom, the heroes, to confront the Demon Lord, making all of Suzune's dreams come true. Kazuki gets furious and demands that he be sent back to his world, but the summon works only one way. Then, the king walks towards them, surprisingly bows and asks for help, and promises to find a way for them to go back eventually. Wellesley then explains that the summoning process chooses accomplished people, and hearing bells before being summoned means they're heroes. Unfortunately for Usato, he didn't hear any bells, so he worries he was brought here by mistake. Wellesley takes them to a crystal ball to measure their magical abilities. Suzune excitingly touches the crystal ball, and the crystal shows she's good with thunder magic, and she already starts imagining. Kazuki's turn comes and the crystal turns white. Suzune thinks he can shoot laser beams or make swords made of light. Usato definitely didn't expect her to be like this. Wellesley explains light magic is rare and it dispels evil and demons. Finally, it's Usato's turn. His crystal turns out to be green. Wellesley is shocked and grabs Usato and rushes to the king. She explains to the king that Usato's crystal turned green. The king is in horror and quickly orders Usato to be taken away from the castle. Suddenly, a girl with long green hair and strong presence barges in. Her name is Rose. She asked about the heroes. She notices Usato thinking he is a hero, but the king says he is just an ordinary boy. Rose introduces herself as captain of the kingdom's rescue team. Usato said to himself, "She seems more like someone who takes lives, not saves them." Wellesley diffuses the situation and offers to take Rose to the real heroes. Usato, being clueless about his magic, asks the king what his green crystal means. Everyone was shocked. Rose hears and says she'll take Usato. Lloyd orders Wellesley to get Usato away from her. She uses bubble magic, but Rose quickly catches Usato and rushes off, telling Lloyd she will make Usato a full-fledged healing magic user. His friends are shocked to hear he's been taken. Wellesley reassures them but is a bit anxious about Rose's unorthodox training. At the base of the rescue team, Rose introduces her subordinates. They scare the shit out of Usato. Rose explains they're not healers like her. There are 2 other healers on the team, but they're usually elsewhere. Rose says she'll teach Usato healing magic, but he's scared and wants to learn from someone else. Rose ignores him and leaves. The guys warn Usato and laugh at him. Usato worries but tries to stay positive. He hopes things will be okay. Rose wonders how it'll turn out. The next day, Usato wakes up and wishes all of this was a dream. Suzune and Kazuki visit him, and they all promise to do their best. Miss Rose surprises him. She gives him a journal to record his training and how he feels about it. Training begins. Usato doesn't think it's so bad. Rose has him feel the mana in his body and work on drawing it out. He's also surprised that he can read the language here, because of translation magic. The book has a lot of info about demons and other races in this world. She left him to study. The first day of training seemed easy, so he thought he could handle it. Boy, you are jumping to conclusions way too fast. The second day was harder than he expected. He ran a lot. On the third day, he ran until his muscles were too sore to move. He collapsed, but Rose heals his sore muscles by slapping his leg. She pushed him to keep running, calling him trash. On the fourth day, he fell behind the others in training, and they made fun of him. He couldn't talk back, so he decided to write about it later. Days 5 and 6 were more running, with Rose mocking him and calling him a bug. He trips and says, "You cold-hearted witch!" Suddenly, he saw healing magic coming out of his hand. On day 7, Usato ran until he felt like he might die, and Rose kicked and scolded him harshly. She seemed angrier than usual. He vowed to vent his frustrations in his journal, calling her a vicious, muscle-bound gorilla. Days 8 and 9 brought more harsh training, but on day 9, Usato discovered he could heal his entire body, realizing he underestimated healing magic. Day 10 brought newfound endurance, and push-ups were added on day 11 for battle readiness. Rose explains that the tough training was so he could run away quickly from enemies in battle and also to save injured allies. Will our MC always be a loser? On day 12, he ran until noon and then did push-ups until night, noticing his body felt lighter. On day 13, Rose made him carry weights. On day 14, Usato's lunch went missing, and one of the guys admitted to eating it. Usato got angry and struck back. He then chased his running teammate. A week later, Usato's friends visit him and are surprised at how much he had changed. He was doing intense push-ups. Rose was pleased with his training. Suzune was drooling at Usato's muscles, and Kazuki says, "Suzune, yeah, this training is brutal." Siglas was mad at Rose for her tough training. Rose said she was making Usato her right-hand man because she liked that he never gave up. Siglas told Rose he was ordered to re-enlist her, but he refused. During lunch, Usato finds out that Siglas commands the kingdom's army and teaches his friends how to fight. Usato realizes Celia is the princess and apologizes for being casual. They enjoy some pie, and Kazuki wonders if Usato trains like that every day. Usato says today was lighter and asks about theirs. Kazuki shares how they train. Suzune checks out Usato's muscles. Do we see six-packs? Usato's friends think he's amazing. They joke about Suzune being weird. The big guy who ate Usato's lunch arrives and makes a new meal to replace it. Usato still holds a grudge and argues with him, and they start fighting. Usato has adapted quickly, so Kazuki thinks he needs to go back to training to keep up. That night during a bath, Usato ponders about their convo and notices his transformed physique from rigorous healing, contemplating if he has the mental fortitude to save allies in his better physique. The next morning, Rose announces they're venturing out, causing concern among the group. A guard trembles at Rose's approach as they head to the monster-infested darkness of Linga Forest. Shockingly, Rose instructs Usato not to return until he hunts a grand grizzly. Frightened, Usato challenges Rose's plan. Grand grizzlies are 100-year-old blue bear. Rose insists he can handle it, despite Usato's lack of combat experience. Without explanation, she throws him towards the forest, leaving Usato to panic as he falls through the sky, unsure of what to do. That's our recap for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and enable the notification bell. Keep watching our other videos.